Hello, dear friends. There are many auspicious signs that this is working, despite the skepticism and pessimism generated by the coded controllers. The suspension of the Davos Forum has been the most visible sign so far, but we will see many more. Opinion piece. Transition is starting, December 21st to February 22nd. Operation Disclosure by Mark Baughman. The war has been won, but it is not over. Pessimism is generated by the controllers. Suspension of Davos Forum is the first sign. Many sources have confirmed the elite's agreement. Global chaos would have ensued without such agreement. Diplomacy is more effective than bombs in certain cases. Many people are upset with the deal, but it is the best strategy. African bases have not yet been cleared. According to Gene Decode, transition began December 21st and runs through February 22nd. All is set to be rebuilt and ready by the end of March 2022. Many secrets will be exposed when the elite pops off this pressure cooker. In March, we will enter the fourth dimension, and the fifth dimension will take 10 years. We will move to the universal law, which are the laws of God and of creation. This universe was not created for suffering, scarcity, hunger, and misery. Natural law is the universal consciousness of the great Supreme Master Creator. This is beyond all the religions which were created by the human beings. We are in the final stage, ready to start revealing the truth to the masses. Enjoy the greatest transition in the history of humankind in the coming months. Let's start. And there are those who do not believe in the elite agreement in Antarctica, even though it has been published in many alternative messages and media. So, why has the Davos Forum been called off? Many sources have confirmed the elite agreement. When the river flows, the water flows. Anyway, there is no absolute truth until we see it with our own eyes. A matter of months, in my opinion. Just because you don't understand something or don't know what happened doesn't mean it's not real. It wouldn't benefit ongoing operations to have all the information released ahead of time. That will be done when it is all under control, which is not yet, but we are almost there. The real transition of humankind has begun on December 21st, 2021. For all those who have doubted the white hats, it seems that the secret word has been won by the good side, although it is not over yet, and it will take a few months to see the results. Even if the slowness tests our patience, it is a modern strategy to slowly and without great trauma dismantle the infiltration of darkness in all aspects of our lives, without producing a great loss of life or great social and economic chaos. But we must be aware that ignorance and naivety are very expensive in these times. The great honor should go to the many teams who have put their lives on the line, both the terrestrial and outer, and to the spiritual support of the ascended beings for the transformation wouldn't have occurred without the orders and support of the creators of the main source. Creator in singular. Confirmation. Despite skepticism, many sources have confirmed the elite's agreement to surrender and assist in the transition in exchange for their transfer to another world. In Gene Decode's updates, the Antarctica base was taken over by the coalition several months ago. Some of the top brass escaped through a portal to another planet during the takeover. A Pentagon source said that the great city and the 2 miles of ice had 50 million beings, incredible to say the least. I understand that many people are upset with this deal, but it was the smartest strategy that could have been done, because if they had been repressed, the financial and economic system would have exploded into chaos, and no one is interested in chaos but a smooth, harmonious and orderly transition where everyone wins. Justice is a dish that is served cold, and a hot revenge wouldn't have been in the interest of all mankind. Justice is mine, said the Lord, and the fact is that no one can escape the cosmic laws when he violates them. The important thing is to make the high commanders reveal all the information to be able to deactivate the racket they themselves set up, and that could only have been achieved in exchange for a deal to save their arse, and that deal will be a prison planet from which they will not be able to escape. To save their asses, the clique's top brass will have no choice but to free Earth from the evil influence and facilitate a smooth transition to the QFS quantum financial system that will bring prosperity to all human beings that inhabit this planet, with no war, no poverty, no famine, where everyone will have their basic needs covered, such as food, shelter, health care, and much more. Space Force. The Space Force has 8 exotic Solar War Navy starships from the secret space program that began in the 70s and 80s. The Earth Alliance started with 17 countries and then expanded to 140 countries joining in the liberation of planet Earth. The war has been won but not ended, because the subway bases in Africa have not yet been cleared, according to Gene Decode, although bases on the Moon and Mars were recovered. You always start on the outside and finish on the inside. The secret space program of the solar system has 2 spacecraft organizations, which are Radiant Guidance and Radiant Glory. They have ships of carriers of 1, 2, 4 and 8 kilometers long, as well as the triangular scout ships TR-3B and TR-3G, which is more perfected than the first one. All 3 space stations have a wheel as docking stations for these monster carriers. There are 8 fleets patrolling the solar system. Project Odin connects the QFS Starlink satellite system and the so-called God rods, which are tungsten steel reinforced projectiles the size of a telephone pole, which can cause damage to surfers or subway targets up to 10 kilometers downward by firing them toward Earth from a satellite. This is done without any explosive device, as it travels back to Earth only by the force of gravity. Transformation. This is not simply a change of leadership, but the transformation to a more spiritual and collective consciousness, called unity consciousness. This is the evolution for humankind in the universe, where within each human being we become one with God, through our soul or heart mind to the extent we want, understand and follow the universal laws of God and creation. All people are very willing to live in heaven on earth in total bliss. This is unity consciousness throughout the quantum realm. This is internally transforming in frequency from the 3rd dimension to the 4th dimension by the end of February 2022, and finally to the frequency of the fifth dimension. Transition. Last Friday, December 17, a galactic committee reported that the active phase of transition has already begun, peaking on December 21st, 2021. This has been the beginning of this phase, and it would last until February 22 next year. The transition to the fourth dimension means a complete and final exit from the three-dimensional matrix, the activation of the fourth dimensional matrix first, and then its fifth dimensional format. It's time for humankind to ascend on Gaia Earth. This is great historical news that should bring much joy to the heart. It's not something to fear, it's something to be ecstatic about, for this process of spiritual unfoldment has taken millennia to gestate. The Schumann resonance is a frequency of a planet or its inhabitants called the heartbeat of a planet. Earth's frequency was 7.83 Earth from thousands of years, and now we are in the 40 Earth range, and sometimes peaking at over 200 Earth. This means that we are moving into the fourth dimension, increasing our consciousness and activating more DNA strains. This will give humans more abilities such as telepathic talk. But not all humans will develop on the same timeline. We have 64 strands of DNA and only 2 strands are activated in 3D. There will be 5 strands on the 5D Earth. We also have 64 amino acids. We will develop or increase in frequency rapidly in the next few weeks, then slowly to 5D in about 10 years, according to Gene Decode. This is getting closer to God, our primordial source creator, and would be a graduation, so to speak. Universal law. The future of humankind is the understanding of the universe, how it really works. This is a real transformation to be sovereign beings, which is not just about changing some laws or changing leadership. We will all be de facto equal because no soul is more valuable than any other. We will move to the universal law or natural law of the universe, which is the true law of God and creation. Natural law is the universal consciousness of the great Supreme Master Creator. This would be beyond all the religions of the world, which were created by human beings. Natural law is an ethical and legal doctrine that postulates the existence of rights based on human nature. It advocates the existence of a set of universal rights, prior, superior, and independent of a written law, positive law, and customary law. Divide and conquer. If the devil wanted to rule with evil intent, he would have created many different ways to love and honor our Creator, with no one being able to agree on exactly the right way to do in order to divide us and pit us against each other on religious or political grounds. And this is exactly the chaos the world has lived through for thousands of years. The devil won with all the blood lost throughout history over who was right. Divide the Bible or leave paths out, have scholarly theologians argue and clash, and you have the old Roman method of divide and conquer. Add human ego to this equation, wanting to gain power, money, and political control, and what we have has been a religious disaster throughout our history. We know that the Vatican would never publish all 777 chapters of books or books of the Bible to help solve some real problems. why the Roman Church wouldn't be outspoken is because its leadership forms the third arm of Illuminati power and Baal or Lucifer worship. The three pillars of wealth controlled are or were religion, the central banking system, and the military. A huge transformation is about to happen because of energetic shift of the planet that is also manifesting within us. The Great Revelation. The second phase is coming, and many secrets will be exposed when the lid of the boiling pressure cooker pops off. There will be much unimaginable disbelief and confusion due to the levels of shock from those who have no idea what lies beneath all that is happening on the surface. They say all will be revealed and ready by the end of March 2022. Among the many tools that will be used for the liberation of humankind are the well-known GISRA, QFS, Starlink, Global Financial Reset, National and Personal Debt Forgiveness, and Universal Law Enforcement. Some will be enacted soon, others later. Mitchell Fielding said last Thursday, December 9th, that the final military marker would be the public announcement of the Queen's death for the coalition to reveal to the public that all operations have been completed, which has not happened yet because some minor markers have not been completed. But this is very clear that we are in the final stage and we are ready to start revealing the truth to the masses. The big reveal that we are waiting for is very much like the EFS emergency broadcast system. A number of behaviors are to be made public that violate the Prime Directive to do no harm to anyone, or that you do not do to others what you do not wish for yourself. Others say it will not be the EBS but the social networks that will reveal everything, but I believe it will be both. There will be no crash. As for the famous 10 days of darkness, sources say it was already done in November, but that is not clear and I prefer to call it the 10 days of light of truth to come. Zorra says the countdown to launch has already begun, but there is no indication of the starting point. Sources say there will be no major stock market crash, no major upheaval in economic terms, because we are already in recession and no more suffering is necessary, so people will not be allowed to loot their savings. This would be the same as having many wars break out all over the world, which is what happened after 9/11, and it would not be the same as having many wars break out all over the world, which is what happened after 9/11. This is a repetition. Sorry. Onwards. After 9/11 onwards, and we don't need it. The outbreak will be the revelation of a lot of truthful information. Some people will not believe their eyes and will retreat to their paradise for relief. The great change is beginning now. We know that the Starlink satellite will be a very secure system compared to the present backdoor banking and internet system we have now. It will be a great achievement and freedom for mankind once we switch to Starlink, because it will take all the power away from the bad guys in one fell swoop. The QFS software has infiltrated the back banking of big finance, and because of it frauds have been detected and arrests have been made. This Starlink software is the most advanced in the world and will know every intention with money and stop all criminal activity. Release. The time has come for total liberation. The time has come for liberation of all blockage, from all veils of forgetfulness, from all that has kept you subdued or apart from the whole process of the universe. Father, Mother God didn't create this universe for suffering, scarcity, hunger, and misery. He created each of us for prosperity and abundance. And these gifts exist in the universe. All you have to do is emanate positive feelings. All you have to do is emanate joy, and whatever you emanate positively will begin to attract abundance. Therefore, do not consider yourself unworthy. Do not believe that something is wrong with your path. Starlink will oversee the government or a trained benevolent army that will make sure that no government creates war and no government makes war against its citizens with unjust mandates or laws. In reality, no governments are needed at the municipal, state and national levels. There will be citizen committees that will only vote for policy at the local level and nothing is in between. Divine will. Be assured that light coming from the central sun is the reason of all new things are coming for humankind. The real reason for the changes. It's not yet the acts of the great leaders on the ground. They had orders because everything is a hierarchy from God to the angels, the angelic realm, the ascended masters, the higher frequency beings, but even the animals and the molecules in us and around us. Because divine energy is what gives us life through the quantum realm, the God particle of divine energy, so to speak, and the soul is pure divine energy which lives forever. We are all connected through this energy, through unity consciousness. God is not in the clouds or in the central sun. He is everywhere. To go to this light, to go inward, through meditation or prayer. Let the light shine on the earth from the first dimensional life to the fourth dimensional life and finally to the fifth dimensional life. Let there be peace in your heart and enjoy watching the greatest transition in human history unfold in the coming days, weeks and months. All will be unveiled by the end of March 2022 according to sources, but no dates are setting. Thanks a lot, dear friends.